the Steelers' Aaron Rodgers saga takes an unexpected turn. We break down the latest developments as reports surface about whether the future Hall of Fame quarterback has actually made a move with the franchise. We look at the recent reports suggesting a potential meeting and what that means for the team's offseason plans.
Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to hold it with one hand? The PopSocket's Pop Grip gives you a secure grip, works as a phone stand, and even lets you swap the top for a fresh new look. Simple, useful, and perfect for everyday phone use. Click the link in the comments to grab yours on Amazon.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are facing a tough quarterback situation with rookie Allar, second-year Will Howard, and Mason Rudolph stepping in. We examine what head coach Mike McCarthy is saying about the current quarterback room and whether this unit is strong enough to compete for a Super Bowl. Former Steelers head coach Bill Cowher is sounding optimistic, confidently stating that Aaron Rodgers will be there at some point, pointing to Will Howard as a strong option. We explore the team's improved roster and what this means for the Steelers' outlook heading into the 2026 season. But there are major insider speculations swirling around the situation. Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio believes Aaron Rodgers might be looking for an unwritten understanding in his negotiations with general manager Omar Khan. Find out what this potential clause means for the future of the Steelers and what it could mean for the quarterback competition. The saga surrounding Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers has taken an unexpected and disappointing turn. Reports suggested the Steelers hoped Rodgers would end his tenure with the franchise by announcing his intentions to re-sign with the six-time Super Bowl champions. However, this has not materialized, as Rodgers remained unsigned for the 2026-27 offseason. The situation escalated in early May after reports indicated Rodgers was scheduled to be at the team's facility and expected to sign before the weekend concluded. Subsequent reports cast significant doubt on the imminent signing, with ESPN's Adam Schefter confirming on the Pat McAfee show that no interaction occurred between the quarterback and the team over the weekend. As the Steelers move into the final phase of their offseason program next Monday, the status of Rodgers' participation in team activities remains uncertain. Despite the recent performance statistics, including 327 passing attempts, 3,322 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 7 touchdowns with Pittsburgh last year, Rodgers is still a major question mark. If Rodgers chooses not to commit to the Steelers for another season, Pittsburgh must be prepared to promote one of their current signal callers, including Allar, Will Howard, or Mason Rudolph. The Pittsburgh Steelers continue to navigate a challenging quarterback situation as the team awaits a decision from Aaron Rodgers regarding his future. Weeks after the 2026 NFL Draft, the Steelers remain without a starting quarterback, forcing the team to rely on their current roster. In an effort to gain perspective, ESPN insider Brooke Pryor reached out to head coach Mike McCarthy to discuss the quarterback dynamic. McCarthy indicated a preference for having multiple quarterbacks, stating that 3 quarterbacks is normal, 4 would be awesome. The current Steelers quarterback room features rookie Allar, second-year professional Will Howard, and perennial backup Mason Rudolph. This configuration has been described as one of the least impressive units in the league, making the outlook for the team heading into 2026 uncertain without Rodgers. While acknowledging that Rodgers is no longer the perennial MVP candidate of his prime and much has changed since his last Super Bowl appearance or tenure with McCarthy, the situation leaves the Steelers in a difficult position. The team feels they are in a no-win scenario regarding the future Hall of Famer, as their hesitation to pursue other options has tied them to Rodgers' decision-making process. With off-season training camp approaching, clarity on the quarterback situation is highly valued by the organization. Even if Rodgers does not require additional reps, the Steelers would appreciate any definitive guidance. Furthermore, the team recognizes the value of having their young quarterbacks develop alongside one of the greatest passers in NFL history. The Pittsburgh Steelers' quest for quarterback Aaron Rodgers continues into May, with speculation mounting that the veteran will re-sign with the team. While expectations for a decision sooner this offseason have cooled, former head coach Bill Cowher remains optimistic about Rodgers' return. Cowher recently expressed confidence, stating, "I think Aaron will be there at some point," pointing to the team's developing talent, including Will Howard, as a significant upside. Cowher also praised the current team, noting that under Mike McCarthy, the Steelers are a better unit than the previous year. Signs strongly suggest Rodgers is intended to return, with reports indicating that head coach Mike McCarthy and general manager Omar Khan are in regular communication with the quarterback, maintaining their intent to re-sign him. However, uncertainty remains, as Rodgers' decision is ultimately his own. Reports regarding a recent trip to Pittsburgh have circulated, with some insiders suggesting he visited the city, though other reports clarified that he did not meet with the Steelers during that time. The purpose of his visit remains unclear, but it does not appear to have diminished his prospects as the starting quarterback. Beyond the quarterback situation, the Steelers have demonstrated significant offseason improvements. The roster has been bolstered by adding proven veterans like Michael Pittman Jr. and Jamel Dean, alongside acquiring 10 players in the draft to strengthen the offensive line and receiver core. The team is operating with the expectation that Rodgers will be the quarterback, viewing him as their best option under center. If the Steelers achieve a playoff victory in 2026, the wait for Rodgers may be deemed worthwhile. Insider speculation is mounting regarding Aaron Rodgers' negotiations with the Pittsburgh Steelers, with analysts suggesting the quarterback may be seeking an implied clause in the deal to protect his future career options. Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio discussed this theory on Pro Football Talk Live on Monday, suggesting Rodgers is looking out for his own best interests as he negotiates with general manager Omar Khan. Florio posited that Rodgers would not want to conclude his career as a backup for a team aggressively pursuing an early first-round draft pick. He speculated, what if Aaron Rodgers is looking for an unwritten understanding, unenforceable handshake deal? Florio elaborated on the potential scenario, noting that if the Steelers fall significantly, for instance, reaching a 3-5 record and 2-6 record by Week 8, Rodgers might opt to be released before the trade deadline. This would allow him the flexibility to choose another team if one needs him. This is where Aaron Rodgers protects himself, Florio asserted. He added that for Rodgers to be released before the trade deadline, there would need to be a specific assurance, as any move after that would require clearing waivers. Florio concluded that inserting such a clause into a deal with the Steelers is unlikely. Instead, the arrangement would rely heavily on a mutual level of trust for such a scenario to materialize.